あと勝つためにやることは一つ。
K グループの人間関係をめちゃくちゃに破壊する。
Top 10 animes with genius main characters Part 2. We all have an intrinsic infatuation with genius anime protagonists. They subvert our expectations and make us brim with anticipation over what they're going to do next. It's simply too exciting. And well, in this video we're going to talk about different kinds of genius anime protagonists. I've also done a part 1 of this before, so don't forget to check that out as well if you want more recommendations. Well then, let's begin.
さて、どうするドラウッド。策を練らねば。俺の手のひらで踊ることになるぞ。
Number 10. The Genius Prince's Guide to Raising a Nation Out of Debt. As the legend goes, there is a brilliant prince who led the kingdom of Natra to great victories that will be remembered for centuries to come. He and his people never yield, not when the odds are stacked against him. But what the populace doesn't know is that the prince couldn't care less about his status and repute. That's the deal with this prince. He is only helping the kingdom get some glory so that it can later be sold at an auction for a good price. But he always ends up underestimating his own genius ideas. Every single time, his plans surpass his own expectations, and before you know it, he becomes a legendary symbol of hope and a national hero. I'd say, if you want to see a guy gaming the geopolitics of a fantasy world, this is it.
俺誘い込まれ
上出来だ。
そういうことだったのね。ウェインが狙ったのは軍を御する将の心。そう、
常に使える犬だった。だからそばに置いていたわ。たとえ嘘つきの裏切り者でもね。
Number 9. The Promised Neverland. The premise of The Promised Neverland is a little uncomfortable in the sense that all these brilliant children are getting their cognitive capabilities improved in order to turn them into geniuses, but all for the purpose of presenting them as food for demons. Talk about a farm that doesn't cut corners. Anyways, amongst them are 3 absurdly extraordinary kids, namely Emma, Ray, and Norman. Their genius is undeniable, but of course there is also a subtle disconnect between their area of expertise. I'd say give this anime a shot if you already haven't. Let Season 1 serve you as an introduction to the story, and once you are done, you can continue from the manga. Please do not watch Season 2, it's an insult to the manga and the fans.
おめでとう、ノーマン。あなたの出荷が決まったわ。
Number 8. Alice in Borderland. You see, the manga world is full of endless amounts of phenomenal manga series that don't seem to be getting an anime adaptation. Alice in Borderland is also a brilliant manga, and while it never received a proper sensational anime adaptation, we do have 3 episode-long OVA series. It only covers the beginning of the story, but then again, that can serve as your introduction to the story. As for our genius main character, Arisu, he has the ability to analyze things at a level that most people can't even comprehend. A pretty useful ability considering how he and his friends get stuck in the domain of death games.
もちろん、俺に従えば絶対に勝てる。
わあ、すごい自信。
それじゃあ話すよ。
Number 7. Tomodachi Game. Tomodachi Game is the anime adaptation of an absurdly entertaining manga you just can't stop reading. It's basically a story about a group of friends who get dragged into a debt repayment game, but only time was going to reveal the true terror of this ultimate psychological game these friends were about to play. The protagonist, named Yuichi, looks like an ordinary student, but he is a monster. The guy is a master of manipulating people, so much so that if there is a character comparable to Ayano Koji from Classroom of the Elite, then it is him.
おっと、手が滑った。
教師の仕事を完遂できるのか。
状況に応じ柔軟にやり遂げる覚悟がなければ最初から教師になどなっていません。
Number 6. Assassination Classroom. It's no secret that geniuses are in every possible field, especially the controversial professions such as assassins and swindlers. The story of Assassination Classroom is a tale of inspiration and hope. A supernatural creature who has the ability to travel at the speed of sound suddenly becomes a teacher. Not only that, but his class also has to kill him within a year or the earth will be blown to smithereens. Among his students are two primary protagonists, namely Nagisa and Karma. Karma is an intellectual prodigy and the kind of guy who can handle pretty much everything, while Nagisa is an unusual case. Despite his timidness, he seems to have the talent for killing people. Even so, their teacher, Koro Sensei, is the biggest monster of them all, but I wouldn't spoil my precious viewers, would I? What about you guys? Who do you think is the greatest genius of all time? I'm not just talking about protagonists, but every single anime character you have ever come across. Share your answers in the comments down below and explain the reasoning behind them as well. I'm quite eager to read your thoughts. Also, like and subscribe, it's always appreciated. Well then, let's get back to the list.
間違いなく俺が見たクリスだ。
Number 5. SteinsGate. SteinsGate is hailed as one of the greatest animes of all time, and for very good reason. The protagonist, named Okobe, is a self-proclaimed scientist who plays around with his buddies. There is a hot-headed sweet girl named Mayuri and an otaku hacker named Hashida. They are experimenting on a microwave and, well, things go terribly wrong. And there is another main character named Mikise Urishu. She's just 18, but instead of being a high school student, she is now writing papers while being part of a brain research program at Victor Condria University. Though don't be fooled, she may be a genius, but deep down, she is a sweet tsundere.
ありがとう。また会おうね。7年後に。
同じだった。ずっと同じ気持ちだったんじゃねえか。バカ野郎。
Number 4. Moriarty The Patriot. If a character's name is Sherlock Holmes, you bet he is going to be an intellectual beast. Here we have a story that takes place in the 19th century, back when Britain was the greatest empire. The working class was still barely living a proper life, and this doesn't sit right with a man named William James Moriarty, who is working to build a better social structure. On the other hand, there is another main character, which as you can guess is Sherlock Holmes, and he stands in the way of William James Moriarty's plans. Now how will history unfold?
君は探偵としてではなく友達としてここに来てくれたんだね。僕の負けだ、シャーリー。
必ず見つけるよ、真実を。
Number 3. Psychopass. Psychopass is a story that takes place in the 22nd century. The way Japan manages crime is by gauging the threat level of each citizen, and that's how any potential problem is taken out in advance. However, there is a man named Shugo Makishima who is too far gone when it comes to his love for cruelty and savagery. He also has unreal charisma and the qualities of a true mastermind. Though of course, he isn't the only main character. There is Shinya and Akane who work for the Public Safety Bureau. All in all, Psychopass is one of those animes that everyone should watch, which is why I do not want to drop a major spoiler. Just trust me and watch it.
必ず見つけてみせる。
コナン君。
Number 2. Detective Conan. Detective Conan is an anime that has been going on for around 25 years. Its protagonist, named Kudo Shinichi, is a 17-year-old detective, but because of his undeniable skills, may have started calling him the modern-day Sherlock Holmes, but because of a sudden twist of fate, he was fed a drug which reverted his physical stature back to when he was just 7 years old. After this, he changes his name to Conan and starts solving mysteries left and right, and that is the beginning of Detective Conan. Well, I'm not sure if I can recommend this one to everyone since there's over 1,000 episodes, and that's not a joke, but if you are interested, definitely give it a shot. Number 1. Code Geass. Well, at number 1 we have Code Geass. I don't think Code Geass requires any introduction. It is among the most highly acclaimed and popular anime of all time. Not to mention, Lelouch is the anime character with most favorites on my anime list. Its popularity and prestige cannot be understated. Code Geass is truly an extraordinary anime in every sense of the word, and Lelouch is a mutant prodigy when it comes to high IQ politics. So there you have it, folks. This was part 2 of the top 10 animes with a genius main character. What did you guys think of these animes? Have you watched them, or are you planning on watching them? Share your thoughts in the comments down below. Press that like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe, and leave a comment saying I subscribed, and I'll personally reply to your comment. Also, don't forget about my question from before. Well then, I'll see you guys on my next video.